He's a narrative writer. But musically, we heard many influences. I heard a lot of jazz. I heard some low bass jazz. I've heard, it's hard. The Purple Hearts. I mean, come on, man.
That was very 80s.
Yeah, come on.
Ish tempo, Prince-ish. Man, I can pull all time. Well, when I heard that, right, and we was warming up, I'm sitting here singing, what a difference. I'm singing that because of that damn song. Yeah. You know, Purple Hearts. So, yeah, the production is like, I want to give it a grade.
It's
hard to give it a grade
because it wasn't consistent production. The production it was all over the place
because it was a therapy session, right? Mm-hmm. Sort of like 444.
And I like the fact that you mentioned that.
We get into this question. Let's get to that question so I can say what I'm gonna say.
About 444?
No, about the. I think we got a question about what this album was about, right? The point of the album.
The point of the album.
Okay, I'm not familiar. Since you're making up questions, go ahead and go there.
The point of the album, right? The point of the album. So I think the point of this album is like 444, except for it's not coming from a 50-year-old man's perspective. It's coming more from a 35-year-old, 35-year-old male.
Maturing man.
Black man's perspective, right? So we getting 35-year-old conversations, right? With a child, with children, and with a wife, family. He's got his family, but he's trying to figure this out now in real time, and we getting it in real time, not from a 50-year-old though. That
past. Yeah.
Jay-Z's was from a 50-year-old.
And I love that you made that comparison with 444 because this album definitely read like that album, and that was actually one of my favorite Jay-Z albums. No disrespect, I like the maturity and the growth in that album, and it wasn't one of those songs that you listened to and thought it was going to be an action movie. You didn't think it was going to be a turn up. You knew you was going to get classic biography Jay-Z, but in a different format with a different sound. And Kendrick definitely did that. He definitely delivered a project with that type of gravity to it, right? Mm-hmm. You know, like 444 had a different gravity to it.
Because that was the first time we really saw Jay-Z vulnerable the whole time.
Right.
He had make vulnerable songs every now and again.
His song Cry was like the closest he did to one. Like the
Lost One.
Okay.
But
yes, I
you know
agree.
what I'm saying? Like, but he doesn't do it like for a whole album. Like that's why we always gravitate to Tupac, right? Because he's vulnerable the whole time.
Right.
You know, Jay-Z was vulnerable the whole time in 444.
Right. And this was very like similar.
Kanye's always vulnerable, right? So you expect it from him. Kendrick's always vulnerable. You expect it from him. And J. Cole, they always vulnerable. Drake is always vulnerable from a different type of.
Right. But he also got his most nods, though, from 444. Right. And you're saying that this album had a similar read to it.
Yes, because it's more likely because he's trying to get out his therapy. But what's intriguing to me, because during COVID, a lot of people went through a lot of shit if they was in a relationship, right? COVID was breaking motherfuckers up left and right. And it was testing your foundation in your relationship.
In a lot of relationships.
Period.
Family relationships, everything.
Everybody. Every relationship
with
you
your
have,
children.
With friend, children, every relationship. And if your relationships wasn't built off respect, it was about to show, and then you got some decisions to make, right?
Okay.
So I want to add this, that listening to it all the way through, his therapist was his girl.
This woman.
Okay.
Whitney, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate to that because during COVID, my therapist was my wife.
Okay.
Right? And it was conversations. All these conversations I damn near had with my wife. And they were not easy. They were, I'm up all night, or I could be sleeping, then I get woke up. Mm-hmm. And then this is how the rest of this night gonna go until I go to work. So
this is what it is right now.
Yeah, this is what's gonna happen. And
bask in it.
And you built your own hell, right?
Yeah.
So we got to come out this hell.
Yeah.
And that's what the point of the album was, is that he had to go through therapy, but he had to expose all his ugly shit to his wife because it wasn't gonna happen. You know,
and it numerically read as a therapy session. Like I said, on track 10, I don't know which one it is. It might have been Count Me Out, whatever. I can't tell y'all for sure. It said session 10 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I really like the fact they said that. One thing I did want to mention is there's a lot of understatements in this album. And I also want to talk about what the album means, ultimately, because I'll get back to that at the end. It was no TDE artist featured on this. It was a lot of things that I was wondering, like, what does this mean? Like, did he just want to show, like, no, this is, because I actually heard TDE say they about to make a big run. So I know that SZA might be about to drop. All these artists might be about to drop at the same time. This thing with Isaiah Ryder just came out. So I actually think that they might be preparing for a big run, but he did this album without any features that I remember from a TDE artist. Will we ever see
Black Hippie? Ever? Will we ever see a Black Hippie album?
That's
never gonna
not
happen.
at all. Not at all, man.
That sucks. But it's
cold,
okay.
But yeah, nah. But I think to harp on, he just, I don't know, he created the label or whatever, it was PG. I don't know what it is, but Kendrick is him and King.
Okay.
They are part of the label. Or
okay.
So
all right.
If you check the credits,
hell of a statement.
They are, you know what I'm saying?
A subsidiary?
Yeah, they are. I don't know. I don't know. Like, but
they label it patches on there.
Yeah, it patches on there. Aftermath, Interscope, TDE, and the PGL, whatever that.
Interesting. I like that though. I like that a lot.
So he might be transitioning, you know, away.
I thought he was gonna be the old school Gemini on here though, man.
Hey man, I enjoyed exactly who he was on here, and in so many ways. But,
Kanye changed his life, but me, I'm still
can't
old school
please
Gemini.
everybody.
But he turned it.
He did mention
Kanye
about
West,
Drake and
sorta.
Kanye getting back together. I didn't that line went over my head, and I can't wait.
Well, that's because they did a concert.
Well, I know why, but what he's saying, he wasn't that mature. What you mean? Like,
he didn't see how because of the shit that they was
were
going
going
through all
through
of the
the pity
bullshit where
pats.
he was faking like he had or acting like or insinuating that he was fucking with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah,
all that shit. I understand
agree.
that.
But we knew it was fake because Kanye did the same thing with 50. You know, and it was a big. They killed
Nah, but it was a
themselves.
little
This
bit
is
more
before
personal.
that, though, Joe. The cake at Kiki, all
Okay,
that
I got
shit.
you. I got you.
Yeah, all
Yeah, I
that
got
whole
you.
shit that was going on.
Okay, I got you.
Is the reason why I understand. what
Okay,
Kendrick
I got
is
you.
saying.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing some perspective to it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. If,
I'd have been sitting there like, nigga, I'd never make a song with this or do nothing with this.
nothing with
I
this.
punched this motherfucker in his mouth. Even acting being funny. Oh, you funny? Funny how? You know, that type of cool shit. Man, this was a good album. I actually want to listen to it now.
Well, it's too early, but how soon do you think that we're gonna get another project from Kendrick? It's too early. But
In 5 years.
I mean,
No, it won't be that.
I don't know how much music he stacked up during this time period. He could have stacked up a ton of music.
He said he got some unreleased tracks.
Yeah, he could have stacked up a ton of music, but he not for real. I mean, that's me being honest as a person that's written music, you know, for a long period of my life and been a fan of music. The more complex your writing style is, the more difficult it is to put out music in a high clip. You know what I mean? Like for Lil Wayne, he effortlessly understands his style, and it doesn't necessarily have to have a tone where he going to a certain topic. So he's like an exception. Like Lil Wayne, the only person I know that have that type of complex writing style that can put out music at a high clip. Jay-Z don't do it at a high clip. You know what I mean? When I hear Kendrick, it's just, I mean, Jay-Z, he would do an album every year, but a year is a long time, right? For Kendrick, he uses so many different types of figures of speech. And when he actually writes a song, it doesn't seem like an easy song to write. And I actually, and some of his songs are actually even overproduced. So it make it seem like he went back and touched the same song for like a month. Went back and added something or changed something. It really had that vibe to me. Like as a person that actually been in the studio, lived in the studio, grew up in the studio, I know like it seemed like these songs is like even like how we just talk about Andre 3000. You could tell he been touching this song and coming back and touching it and
I ain't like that. I'm gonna do
it ain't like a cookie cutter pattern, which is nothing wrong with a cookie cutter pattern, but the world don't need everybody to be a cookie cutter artist.
Well, Drake does it. He does different type of songs, but there's a difference. He sit there and he listens to somebody. Fuck that. I'm gonna say it. He sit there and he listens to whoever wrote the song, and he got a new song to learn, and he gonna go out and perform it. But he's
Rap
still dope.
Shang Shong.
He's still dope. He's still dope though.
Yeah, he's Drake. Same self-explanatory.
Megastar.
You know, at the end of the day, you are who you
and
are.
You slide in my wife DM.